Hello and welcome to Hosel Rockets, where two buddies who love golf just talk about golf and all things life, technology, and whatever else comes about. My name's Eric Barnes, and with me, as always, in this very first episode, is Ben Edmonds. How are you, Ben?
Doing good, Eric. Doing good. I'm excited to see you again here on our podcast that we've done many times.
Yes, yes. Well, it's even though it's the first one, I feel like it's something we've done forever. Just because like we do all these golf trips and we are always in constant communication, trolling each other with our golf games, telling us how bad each other sucks, and all the other things that friends do. So it's even though this is the first time recording, it feels like we've done this a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely not our first time to like sit down and bullshit with each other, at least.
Yes. Uh, so I guess to get started, do you want to sort of tell the origin story about how we first met and, how we started playing golf together? Because believe it or not, we're actually, Ben's just south of Atlanta. I'm outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. So we're not really remotely close to each other, but we still try to get together a few times a year. So if you want to if you have a good memory of that first outing,
Yeah, just put me on the
let's hear
spot.
how it started, because I can't even remember how we even got together to do that first trip.
So, let's see. We've known each other for over 10 years now, probably. No,
Oh yeah, like
way more than
2011
that.
probably.
Yeah. Um, I think the first time we met was that at the Atlanta PHP user group.
I think we met at Code Igniter, New York
Oh,
City,
yeah, Coconut, New York, of course.
the one that
Yeah.
Phil Sturgeon put on.
Yeah, that was the first conference I went to. Yeah, so I had to be probably 22 years old, maybe. So that was a good 14 years ago. No, 15. Man, I'm getting old.
No, I think it's more than that, because I don't even know if I had kids back then, and my oldest
Wow.
is 15 now.
Okay.
I don't know. It's been a while.
Figuring this out.
We need to research that. I feel like, I feel like it was. I don't know.
Yeah. So, okay, we met at Coder Con. It was a conference in New York around the Coder PHP framework. Our buddy Phil Sturgeon put it on. It was the first conference I spoke at, and it kind of like, in a lot of ways, it changed my life, right? Because I had spoken at, I don't know, dozens, hundreds of conferences since then, right? It became like a big part of my life for a long time. Met you, which turned into, pretty cool friend group and lots of golf trips and all that. So, yeah, I have a lot to thank Phil for, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, me too. And even from that conference, that's how I met, Ian when I worked at Userscape. It's like that whole conference just kind of opened up my whole career path. It was amazing how like one random weekend in New York City just changed the whole trajectory of my professional life.
Yeah, that is wild. Yeah, and then let's see. So we knew each other for years, and I don't know, were you into golf the whole time? Because I definitely was not.
I wasn't either. Like I was into it a long time ago, and then I quit forever because I had kids and everything. And then I want to say I picked it up about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years. I don't know. It's all a blur at this point, but and I would just kind of play on the weekends, just the normal, hacker. Joined a club and then played a lot.
Yeah, and I was it was right before COVID. I had moved and had nothing to do with a lot of my free time. So I didn't have many friends in the area and all that, and was looking for something. Decided to try golf because I had a friend that was into it, and my expectations going in were, this is gonna be boring. This is an old man game. Like, how hard could this be? 80-year-old guys do this. And went to the range and was like, holy shit, this is hard, and I have to figure out how to get better at this. And that was 2019, 2020, and then especially during COVID, everything shut down. I was a little bit in Boston during COVID, and nothing was happening. Golf was about the only thing you could do because it was naturally just socially distanced, and became a full-fledged addiction, and it's only grown from there.
It's funny how golf is like, it's on paper it's kind of the easiest sport ever, but then when you start playing, it's the most frustrating experience you can probably ever have. Like, you can have the best round of your life, and then on a Friday you go home and sleep, and then you wake up the next day and you just have the worst round of your life. It's so crazy how hard golf is sometimes.
Yeah, one day we'll figure it out, Eric. That's why we're here.
I love that. So we actually our first official golf trip was back in what was it 2021 in January. We went to Pinehurst. Do you remember what led up to that? Us getting together and going on that trip.
That's a great question. I'm sure a tweet was involved, but I don't remember much else.
The same. Like I remember us all going, and I don't remember like how it started, like who set it up. Like I don't remember much of anything about that trip other than we went to Pinehurst and we had a blast, and it was freezing cold.
It was freezing cold, and David Stanley was there. I believe I had played with David once beforehand at a conference up in Portland, and it became this like, oh hey, you like golf? I like golf. Who else likes golf? Eric likes golf, and we decided to get a little group together.
Yeah, exactly. And there was another guy from my club that was there with us on that first trip, but I haven't really seen him since then. So so three of the four are still together, and then we pulled in another buddy, Paul Redmond. So now we basically do a golf trip every December, I guess. We've been going out west for every. Well, I guess I should explain how we do our golf trips because that might be interesting. So every year, another one of the four has to plan it. So my first year, I think we decided that was my year. So I planned Pinehurst. We all came in, played it. The next year was, I guess, Ben. We went.
It was so cold at Pinehurst. We all decided that we would never do that again. We had to go out west.
Yeah, it was. I've got the date here. It was January 29th, 2021, and it was. I think the high temperature was like 38, and it was misty and rainy the entire weekend. It was so miserable, but we got to play Pinehurst, so it had a bonus.
Yeah, we only played number 2. We played the Cradle, I think, a couple times, but we only played number 2 as the only real course because we just we got rained out. But it was still fun, fun hanging out, and I think we all got lessons and fittings and stuff like that while we were there, so it was cool.
Yeah, it was actually like a super good deal. The back then it was some sort of Titleist weekend, I guess, because it's like an off season. But you got like a $200 Titleist credit. You got breakfast and dinner at all the nice places, and I want to say it wasn't even that expensive, like $600 or something, $800, and then you get the $200 credit. So I've still got that 3-wood I got from that. Still one of my favorite clubs in the bag.
Yeah, it is one of your favorite clubs. I hate it because I cannot hit my 3-wood like you can. Okay, so I cut you off. Back to the structure.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was explaining how we plan our trips every year. So the first year it was mine. It was Pinehurst. And then the next year I think was Ben, and he's like, "All right, we're going out west," and we went to was it Scottsdale that second year?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where we picked up Paul. So now it's me, Ben, Paul, and David, and we basically have kept that same routine for, I guess this is our 5th year. So then we did Scottsdale, and then we did somewhere else. We did Vegas, and then there was another one out west we did, Palm Springs.
Yes. Yeah.
And then and now this year we're coming back to Pinehurst. But it's super fun because it's a way for all of us to, we're all in. So Paul's in Arizona, David's in St. Louis,
Kansas City,
maybe.
I think Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
It's close, right? Hope he don't listen. And but it's a way for us all to, get together once a year and still, revive our friendships that all the trash talk we've done throughout the whole year. And we do little side bets and, all the other fun stuff.
Yeah, me and Eric we really like to get on the bets. We also Eric and I do a bunch of other little trips too around this trip and throughout the year, and each other's club champ or member guest or whatever we can get in on. So yeah, we had lots of room for bets. It's good.
For sure. And I think you're ahead on the bets overall, if I'm not mistaken.
I wasn't going to say that, but I mean, if we want to talk about it, we definitely could. So does that lead us into...
all right, how about this? What's our current bet?
What is our?
I was gonna say, what's
bet?
the current? We have every year we have a big bet. So our current bet is something to do with handicaps.
Yeah, I think this one was whoever lowered their handicap.
Oh, it's
the most by percentage.
Yes, and I think I'm winning.
I think you are winning. Do you know where you started?
No, I'd have to go back and find the note. I want to say I started around at 8 or 9, and then now it's the only thing we did not clarify though, is it the low I or is it the handicap going into the event?
I think it has to be the handicap going into the event.
I don't like that.
No, it's not. It's going back up again.
So I started at like 8 or 9, and then I got my handicap down to like a 4.3 or something ridiculous because I had a bunch of good rounds. And then now it's jumped up to like 5.6, and I'm probably playing to like a 9. So, it's not looking good for me on this bet.
Okay. Well, hopefully it keeps coming up then, because I have not made much progress at all. I think I started at like a 11 or 12, and I'm down to a low 10 now, and I've just been kind of hovering around 10 forever. So, yeah, I need you to get that number up.
Well, it always goes up in the winter anyway, and don't have enough time to play all the time.
Well, I think David and Paul especially, is probably going to really kill us there, because he started at like a 30 and he's down to like a 15 already. So I don't know if we have the chance.
No, I don't think we can compete with that at all. Like, he's probably going to take our money at the event too, since it's since we use handicaps and all the bets and everything. That's going to be a rough weekend.
Yeah, we definitely learned that Paul and David have no shame when it comes to sandbagging. It's kind of disgusting, actually.
It is, but it's funny. Like, every golf group has the 2 sandbaggers, and ours just happen to not be on this podcast, so that's good for us. So we can talk trash while they're not here.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's why they're not on the podcast, because they're not trustworthy people, obviously.
Yeah, they're the ones that take the gimmies from 10 feet. That's why their handicap's so low now.
Okay, so golf trip, Pinehurst. Let's go back to Pinehurst. So that was fairly early in, maybe a year in. I was pretty bad, but surprisingly, not all that much worse than I am now. Maybe it's kind of sad. I don't know. Do you remember what you shot at Pinehurst number 2, Eric?
I do. I kept the scorecard just for this reason. So I shot Pinehurst number 2. If I'm not mistaken, we started on 10 that day, but that's really all I remember. But I shot a 92 plus 20. I shot a 48 on the front and a 44 on the back, and that's with a caddy.
Yeah, the caddy makes a big difference. That was my first round where I never lost a golf ball the whole round, mostly because of the caddy, but it was still a cool achievement. I shot a 108 that day. It's a 54-54.
Well, at least you kept it consistent.
Yeah, look at the bright side.
Well, you gotta have positives. You didn't blow up one side. You just did the same.
Yeah, exactly. I do remember I parred 18, and that felt like an eagle to me, making that par in front of the clubhouse.
Yeah, 18. I'm trying to remember, because that was the one that's like a little dogleg right, and it ends up like right at the statue of Payne Stewart, and it's got the clubhouse behind you, but it was so cold there was nobody out there watching, so he only got to enjoy it with us and the caddies.
Yeah, if I remember right, you did bogey that though, so I beat you on that hole at least.
I'm going to the scorecard. That looks accurate. I believe you did beat me on that one. You got the bragging rights.
Nice. Hopefully it's warmer this year. If it's cold again, we might actually just rip.
Planning a golf trip's hard. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, that's why I like Pinehurst, because I can just call down there and be like, I got 4 buddies. This is the weekend. Just set us up, and they're like, okay, here's everything taken care of. I'm like, this is the way it should be done. I can't handle planning stuff and being like, oh, these are our dinners. These are where we're going here. So yes, I like doing the resorts. That way it's simple and no pressure.
It is a surprising amount of work, and I always stress too about like I have to play the best courses in the area that I can get tee times on, and I like to fit in at least 36 holes a day if I can every day. So it's a lot to organize. Yes.
Well, this is sort of changing the topic just a little bit, but like another cool thing we did was we got to go to the Masters last year. And of course, around the Masters, Ben's like, well, I've got us a trip planned. And we're like, all right. And I want to say he did 36 every day, except for the day we went to the Masters. And it was like, you'd get up at some ridiculous time, you'd go play, you'd have no time for lunch because it's like, oh, it's time to go back out. And then you finish and it's like, oh, it's time for dinner. But actually, I just want to go to bed. And then it was the biggest trip with no downtime I've ever been on. But it was great because I won.
Hey, I gave you Masters Day off to rest. You know, rest and walk I don't know, 40,000 steps, you know?
Yeah, that was so much walking that day. That was crazy how, just walking around the Masters and, being in awe of the beauty of the place, and it's like, oh, this is great. And then, after all the cheap beer and pimento cheese sandwiches, you're like, I just really want a nap, and you're like, I can't do it.
I nap pretty well. It's a nice, comfortable ride home with you driving.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Ben was snoring beside me the whole way home. I'm sitting there having to drive us, nodding off, but no. There were actually people trying to sleep on the side of a hill on one of the holes. I think it was one of the par threes on the Masters, and the range people kept coming over screaming at them, telling them they can't sleep there. So that was fun.
Yeah, definitely recommend the Masters. Strong recommend.
Oh, for sure. Like I don't really want to go to any other tournament. Like I don't really care. That's probably a spicy take. I probably should save that for another episode. But I don't really watch golf on TV because I find it boring, and I don't really like to go watch golf, except for the Masters. I did enjoy that part, but the rest of it, it's like they're coming to come to Charlotte or something. I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to go. I'd rather just go play and not even worry about it.
Yeah, it's playing is a different experience than watching it for sure.
Yes, and two, I mean, playing is just it's it's a game at that point. Watching it's like. I don't know. I want to compare it to basketball, but like it's different because like if you go to a basketball game, they're using the same balls in the same court, in the same rim and everything else. So it's the same as what you could go if you just like went and played at home. But like, all the pro courses are places we can't really play, so it's like, that loses a lot of fun to it, unless they're at like the U.S. Open at Pinehurst or one of the public courses. But that seems rare.
Yeah, it's definitely different, and I mean the angles you see on TV are from 7,000 yards, and I can't yet play a 7,000 yard course well. I know you can, but I'll get there.
Yeah, to be fair, my drives are 220, so I'm always happy when I outdrive Ben. But I cannot play a 7,000 yard course. I'm hitting drivers in 3 woods all day, and that's not fun. I play the proper tees.
Yeah, I'm sure
the old man ones.
That'll be something we can dig into throughout the course of this podcast. It's how you hit it so low,
So what'd you say? So short?
So short, yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna work on that. That is my goal for this off season. I've got the speed stuff. I'm gonna actually try to do it this winter.
Ooh.
We'll see.
Okay, this could be fun.
Make no promises.
But let's not. We'll save some for future episodes.
Have you done?
What speed stuff?
Yes. I just have. I think it's speed sticks. There's like 3 of them, and then a cheap launch monitor or whatever, swing speed monitor, I guess it's called. And so that's my plan is to go in the garage every other day, I guess, and swing. I don't know. Seems like it's going to screw up my swing, but I do want to try it.
I hope you try that before our trip. That sounds like a very good idea. I mean, think about all the extra yardage you could have for Pinehurst.
Absolutely not. I don't even do lessons this time of year because like wherever I'm at, I want to stay at until after it's tournament season and after we do our trip. And then throughout, December, January, February is when I start doing lessons again because I don't want to screw up at the end of the year and be like, oh, this, it just seems frustrating to change that much at the end of or in the middle of the year.
Yeah, it can be. I take lessons and change my swing nonstop forever. And it can be real dicey because sometimes you'll get in there fresh off a lesson and you'll break 80 and you'll feel great and I'm gonna run this bet tomorrow and then tomorrow comes and you can't break 90 and you just have no idea what's happening anymore. So it's a risk reward, Eric. So swing speed, have you tried out the speed sticks yet?
I think I did them one day. So I bought it like a year and a half ago because I was like, I'm gonna do this all winter. And I think I've done it once. So, I've been saving for this exact podcast to start actually trying them.
Okay. That could be cool. Yeah, I wonder if we can start competing somehow with those. That could be fun. We can place bets on who can get the most speed gain because we have to bet on something.
I think we'd have to do it percentage wise, right? Because your swing speed's already going to be faster than mine. So
Maybe, I don't know. Mine's been going down, so I can,
you
we'll see.
you are getting older.
Yeah, I'm feeling it, man. I have been doing a little bit of the stack. It's another swing speed tool. Yeah, it's good. I've been doing it for maybe 3 weeks now. But the problem I see is I can get the stack pretty fast, and I can get a driver with no ball pretty fast. But the second I put a ball in front of me, swing speed drops like 10 miles an hour. So either it's like something's wrong with my swing, where whatever I do fast, I can't actually do well, or it's I'm just scared to hit it. I don't know. It feels mental because you put that ball down and it drops quickly.
Are you doing it at the driving range? Or are you doing it just actually on the course and measuring it that way?
Driving range to measure like an actual hit. Yeah,
I don't know.
could be
That's
worth
interesting.
trying on the course.
Maybe we need a psychiatrist on here.
Maybe we do.
Psychologist.
Future episode coming up, right?
Yes. Why being scared to hit the ball? That's funny. All right. How about this? What is the difference between the things I have, the speed sticks, versus the stack system you just described or started talking about?
So with the stack, you also use a radar to measure progress. They have an app. I don't know if your sticks do, and it has interchangeable weights. And so the app will say like, "Oh, put these 3 weights on the stick, and then swing it for 10 times." And then it will say, "Put these other 2 weights on the stick, and then swing it 10 times." And it walks you through a different routine each time. Supposedly it has machine learning and fancy stuff to kind of tailor the program to what you need. What about yours?
Interesting. No, I'm curious if I should get that so that way we have the same thing and then we can compare that way, or if it's better or maybe you do that one and I'll do the speed sticks and then we can see which one works better.
That could be cool. I do know in the stack there is a way to like add a friend and compete against each other, so you can see each other's stats. So that could be cool. I don't know if you have slightly more progress than me though. I'll have to buy your sticks and just do both. I guess I can't let you outdrive me.
I'm gonna be bombing at like 240.
Look at that!
No,
I got to that part.
I do kid too. Like, yes. I will say like I don't hit it very well. It's all relative. According to Reddit, people are hitting their 7-irons farther than my drives, but according to people I play with, I guess I'm average, which I would say probably around 240 probably is my average drive, and that's after rollout. So, that's gonna be my guess.
Yeah. So for those that
I like to get to 250,
Eric,
260.
The frustrating thing is when he says his average drive is 240, he means he hits every single drive in the middle of the sweet spot, right down the middle, and they all go 240. And that's not an exaggeration. It is the most frustrating thing in the world to play against. I don't think he's ever missed a fairway.
I don't miss many. It's I don't know. You just line it up where it's supposed to go and you hit it and it goes there. It's I don't understand, the problem. It typically my ball flight is straight. It didn't do much. Yeah, it's rare. I'm gonna say it's rare I miss a fairway. It really is. I might miss 2 in a round, but usually it's not like in the woods bad. It's more like I'm just in the rough right beside the fairway. It's not like I'm I usually don't have too many where it's like a penalty shot because I hit a bad drive. For the most part, knock on wood. Now tomorrow I'm probably gonna go out there and shoot 120 because I can't keep the driver in play.
No, I doubt it. Yeah, I don't think driver's ever been an issue when we played. Maybe a couple times you've been a little squirrely, but not bad. Whereas I'm like you said, I do hit it longer, but it is in the trees very often. So, and I don't hit it long compared to most people. So maybe I'm 250 to 260. Not even average though, because you got to count on those 200 ones in the trees somewhere.
True. Yeah, those are the ones that hurt you so bad though. Like you're actually better off I believe 100% that you're better off 200 down the middle with a whatever club for 200 versus 250 in the woods.
I don't know, man.
I know I'm getting pretty statistically
good at
that's not true, but
got a lot of practice.
You're the one trying to hit all the little gaps. You're like, oh yeah, I could definitely hit this, 5-foot gap between these branches.
I got a window. I hit this all the time.
Oh no. But the one thing though is like if you do these programs, the speed sticks or the stack or whatever, and you increase your driver speed, in theory that helps across your entire bag, right? Like you can hit every club longer after that. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Last time I did a little push with the stack, which was last winter, I mostly saw the advantage in my driver, but I was able to kind of take a smoother swing with everything else and keep the same distance, which improves accuracy.
Makes sense. Let me go back to my list here because this is our pilot episode. I don't want to get too. We can't talk about everything in the first episode. We have to leave hangers. Yeah. That's our whole point of this episode is to kind of get together, introduce ourselves, do a little chatting, and then kind of figure out where we're going to take this podcast and how I'm going to beat Ben, at whatever bets we make within this podcast itself. So, if you're listening, we're going to need comments later on, and, you're going to need to email me and give me tips and things like that.
Give them some tips on how to swing a little faster. Yeah.
I don't need to.
Yes, you have a month and a half or so before our next trip to figure out how to beat me. I believe in you.
All right. Well, just for the listeners, where's our handicap stand right now? Where are you at? You said 9?
I'm gonna pull up the Gin app. Okay, is it Gin or is it Gin? Because I have no idea.
Take it to the Gin. It's the Gin. Have you seen the Yips guy?
I am currently at 10.2 with a low handicap index of 9.7. Last year. Wow. That's a long time ago.
All right. So I'm a 5.6. My low handicap is a 4.3, which is back in August. August 24th was 4.3. So I'm coming up a little bit.
That's some good golf, Eric.
Go ahead.
That's good golf.
Well, I had a bunch of rounds in the 70s, and that really helps. It drops quick. And it definitely does not go up quick.
Yeah, that's so true. It's so annoying how they don't go up nearly as fast as they go down.
Yeah, it takes and you get to a point and it caps you, and it's like you can't even go up anymore. So it's like it leaves you on that weird bubble. It's like, nope, you're not that bad.
So me and Eric go on all these trips. His handicap is half of my handicap. And yet somehow I probably beat him more than he beats me. It's not good, Eric. You gotta get this under control. We gotta play somewhere else every now and then.
Well, see, the way I like to look at it is I have a true handicap. See, you have this vanity handicap because you just travel around and like try to explore the world and play all these other courses instead of focusing and trying to get as best as you possibly can at a single place. So I consider you with a vanity handicap, and I have a true one. That's what I'm going with.
I think it's actually the opposite, because a vanity handicap is a lower handicap to make yourself look better, which sounds a little bit like what you're doing, whereas mine doesn't look nearly as good, but it travels, man. It travels.
Yeah, this is true. It makes it really hard when your handicap drops down, and then any tournament you enter, anything with net, it's a pain. Like you have to really, really play so good to be even in the top 5 or 10, because you have all these sandbaggers who try to go travel all these places and have these handicaps that aren't accurate, so they can always shoot their handicap.
Yeah, that's why I do it. Actually, that's why I play so many different places.
Well, that's why you just want to take my money. That's the real reason. You just like to take my money.
It's the only way I can actually afford all the golf I play is with your money.
Oh, rude. Boo.
We'll see how it goes next month.
Oh,
all right.
Very true.
All right. This podcast, do we want to pull back the curtain and talk about the podcast here, or yeah, what's next? How often do we want to do this? What do we think?
It's totally up to you. Like I can do once a week. Whatever works for you. I have a much more lenient schedule than Ben has, so I can kind of jump on at any time. I was going to ask like if we should do seasons, like this should be season 1, and then we take a few months off, maybe in the summer when golf is in full swing, and then we come back when we have a little more free time, or how we should. I don't know how we should do any of this, or should we just get together when we feel like it?
I like a schedule. I like the idea of like taking a break during the summer because it will be, that comes down to recording a podcast or playing golf. I think we'd both rather play golf. So that sounds good to me. And weekly, maybe, until we run out of things to talk about.
So I think we could do weekly from like this time of year through, when's the time change? March? Or is it
the next one,
later?
I think, is November. And then the other one is, I don't have any idea, actually. April, maybe?
We should, April. I think we should try to run it until the second time change, until the April time change. Because, we won't be able to play golf at night until after the April time change, probably.
That's a good point.
And then we can take a break after that.
We'll also have
play
plenty
and
of golf
start it back up again.
Because for some reason we take most of our golf trips together in the winter.
This is true. Why do we do this?
Because we're the only people each other knows that are insane enough to golf in the winter, I guess.
This is true. I play year round. Where I live, it rarely gets to freezing. So if it's 34, I'll play golf. Like that's fine. I love it. I mean, I don't love it, but it's playable.
I am the same way. It is never too cold. A couple years ago, I played in the snow, like actively snowing. So yeah, I'll be there.
All right, we got to talk about that though. How do you play in the snow? Like, do you use like a glow in the dark ball or something, or?
Well, no, it had just started snowing, so there wasn't snow like sticking on the ground yet, but it was cold enough to snow and still playing.
Yeah, I think that's my limit. Like, so another thing I do is I walk, but my rules for walking is if it's more than 90 degrees outside, I ride in a golf cart because it's way too hot to be walking around. And then, but if it's less than 90, I usually walk. I mean, my home course, that is. If we go out to these places, they all want you to ride to keep up pace. But so yeah, I could. I don't know. That snowing seems like I would probably just stay at home that day.
Nah, you gotta get out there.
I was gonna say, would you rather do? All right, here's your question. Would you rather have it cold and snowy or 30-mile-an-hour winds and 80?
Go for the wind for sure.
Well, yeah, but that 240-yard drive you have will only go like 180. Is that okay?
Unless the wind's with you, and then we got a 320.
I don't think you got 320 with 30-mile-an-hour wind behind you.
Probably not. It'd be a downhill. Because golf is not about your average drive, Eric. Golf is about the longest drive you hit.
No. So all right. Let's go back to the podcast. I'm trying to save my spicy takes. So we'll go for once a week. Record on Tuesday, publish on later that week after I edit, and then just kind of run it until we run out of stuff for this first year, and then we'll come back in season 2.
Sounds good to me. Yeah. Until we get tired of talking to each other.
All right. I like it. Sounds good. We should have enough content. We can always come up with something like, we'll talk about how we, demolish these 2 clowns on our next golf outing.
Yeah, we got the next golf trip.
All the other fun things that come on.
Now we have the speed journey we can compete on. We can talk about that. I'll talk you into putting a simulator in your garage, then we can actually play against each other every week, show who is actually better. It's just an easy sell for your wife, right?
I don't know. That seems like a lot of effort. I'm probably not going to do that one. But that is fun though. Let's do the speed thing. We'll start the speed thing. If not next week, the week after. Well, at some point in the next few weeks, because I do have a tournament
to these. Could we add like pictures of our speed radars?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you're listening, my plan is to publish these on YouTube and then also through the normal podcast app, so you can listen wherever you want. But for the YouTube part, I can put in videos, or like what do they call it, B-roll of the different things we're talking about, and me holding the trophy at the end of the year, things like that. So that'll be fun.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. I like that. That's good. Every week we'll recap where we're at speed-wise. It'd be good. It'll keep us accountable too, like a little motivation to actually get out there and do it when it's cold outside.
Sure, for sure. But I was going to say I will not be able to start before next week, because I have a big match Saturday, and I don't want to mess up anything before then. So I'll probably wait till after that one's over, and then I'll start.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. All right. You could just go take a couple swings with your driver as is, just as like your baseline.
Well, so to give you a little backstory on that, I did do that in the garage. I was like, I'll just swing this and see how fast I can get it. Well, then I hit the stupid ground, the concrete, with my driver,
you hit
brand new Titleist driver, scratched the crap out of it. I'm like, that was so stupid. Like, what was I thinking? So, like, no, that's off limits. I'm not swinging the real driver in the garage anymore.
At least get a little turf mat or something in case you hit the ground.
It probably would have been wise, but I've never been told I'm a wise person.
Cool.
You're not supposed to agree, Ben. You're supposed to say no.
Yeah, of course not. Very, very wise. Hitting the ground with driver, man.
All right, so let's call it here. Meet back next Tuesday. What do you think? Same time.
Good to me.
Same bat time. Same bat channel.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's good to catch up.
All right. But for sure. And we've got a website set up. It's called, let me load it up here. I can't actually remember the domain I registered. Terrible human. There we go. Hosel Rockets, plural, HoselRocketsGolf.com. And that has our website with it'll have the podcast on there. We have a newsletter sign up, and then we also will have a link over to like the YouTube channel and Instagram, all the other mess. The main thing, is just join the newsletter. We'll email you when a new episode comes out, or I'll put an email address here, and that way you can email us your feedback or comments, and tell us how good or terrible we're doing. We take all feedback.
Every email is going to be David and Paul defending themselves.
Yes. Ooh, that's a good idea. And then when they email us back, we will comment. We will read their emails out and then comment on them live on the show. I like
That's
this.
great.
I like this.
This is just a podcast
Yes.
to make fun of David and Paul.
Yes. That's perfect. I love this. What better way to use modern technology than to make fun of your friends?
It's pretty good. I like it. Cool.
All right. So
All right.
until next time, I'm Eric Barnes.
And I'm Ben Edmonds.